how impressed you are with how Amari has performed this year, especially in light of he's been dealing with so many lower body issues here, but still seems able to get out there and contribute and be productive.
Yeah, no, he's done a great job. Obviously, we're fortunate to have him. He comes up with these big plays and big opportunities, and you can't ask for more than that. He's done a really, really good job.
I see he's back after having an MRI and talking to the doctor. Is he good for go for this weekend?
Yeah, I'm probably the last guy to ask, so we'll figure it out as we go. Certainly, probably hear a little bit more later today. See how that stuff goes.
How much does it change things though if you don't have him?
Yeah, certainly. If a player isn't a part of it, obviously you got to tweak some things and adjust it and put people in different positions. But I think we've kind of fallen into that a couple weeks, here in the middle of this season so far, and so I think we're prepared for it.
Zeke, the past couple games look like it's just been running different. Is that just hitting the stride from missing training camp, or is that?
Yeah, it could be. Could be just kind of getting into the groove of it as we go, and obviously I think hopefully we've been carrying some momentum as far as starting to run the ball, better and better each week, and everyone getting comfortable with each other and getting a feel for each other, and obviously I feel like we're in a really good place with them.
How do you handle the offense has moved, but especially early in games, either penalties or turnovers have hurt you? How do you address that? Because it's kind of been a recurring theme for you.
I think you acknowledge it, hopefully correct it, and hopefully make some improvements as we go. And whether you look at it and see things that maybe I can do on my end a little bit better, from an execution standpoint, we can do better. It's a part of it. We want to do better. But fortunately, we're not digging into too deep of holes, and we're able to overcome those things.
Has it been a moving target too? Is that part of why it's been difficult to kind of limit it to anything?
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit everything. I can call it a little bit better. Call some things in different situations. We can obviously execute a little bit better. A couple turnovers in there, obviously aren't what you're expecting. But I think fortunately for us, guys don't panic. Guys keep playing, and we kind of dig ourselves out of it eventually.
Can you talk about the importance of trying not to dig those holes, though, especially with the quality of competition?
Yeah, it's a lot nice. It's a lot nicer when we don't run into these situations. Obviously, we want to play better at the beginning of the games, and hopefully we eventually get to that point. We start finding that formula. Obviously, I think it'll help us in the long run.
Does Jason look more fresh to you after last year? Do you see a little more life in him?
No, I think he's kind of back to Jason. He's playing great ball, and I think we're really fortunate to have him. He's a really huge asset for our offense, for myself going through this process. I think he's been really good, and obviously, this game I thought he blocked extremely well, and then we were able to get some play actions and get him the ball out in space, and it was really good.
Are you trying to find ways to get him and Blake on the field together?
Yeah, we got a lot of personnel we like to play with, and whether it's 12 personnel, where 2 tight ends are on the field, we certainly like Tony being out there. There's a lot of different guys that we want to get on the field, and it's just balancing out and trying to find how many different ways we can do it.
Anything surprised you about Dak at this point? I mean, it seems like even bad starts, he doesn't get flustered, he stays confident, just rebounds.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about him. He handles all those things well, handles the ever so trials throughout a game, throughout a season. Just keeps playing, and I think that's fortunate because I think it has an impact on everyone else on offense as well. Everyone else kind of sees that and kind of handles it the same way.
How well is he handling those things? I mean, obviously the touchdown to Gallup was you guys thought was, or they thought was, but that was him improvising and making something happen. Then a couple other plays.
Yeah, I think that's the special part about him is he handles those improvising type plays. Inevitably, he can draw up plays perfectly on a whiteboard and all that cool stuff. And inevitably, about a third of the plays end up in some form or fashion a little improv oriented, and he handles those things really well and does a great job with them.
When you have guys who show the ability to take a play and break it loose for a touchdown, how does that help with patience early when you guys are struggling?
Yeah, just kind of keep sticking with the formula and the approach you kind of had in the game, and just find ways to execute a little bit better, keep working through it, and eventually something clicks and you make a big play and something happens.
Does that confidence build over time? When you have like the Jarwin play and the Gallup play, does that confidence build?
Yeah, obviously evidence helps confidence. When you've done it before and you've executed at that level, you feel like eventually whether things are going bad or good, you feel like you can get to that level at some point.
What did you think was going to happen when Travis snapped that ball early, and what was going through your mind during the play?
Yeah, obviously we all thought it was an offsides, and I think Dak kind of sensed that maybe there wasn't a flag. He didn't really necessarily see it, and so I think they handled it well. And he threw a smart, safe throw that if we had gotten the call, would have executed well, but still gave us an opportunity.
You mentioned that Witten helps you in this role. How does he do that?
Yeah, I think just being a veteran guy. I mean, he's been around this thing for such a long time that, guys like him, Trav, Zach, all these guys on offense, the more we kind of make it, build this thing together, talk through this process. I think Witt's someone that I love talking through the week, through the game plan, on game day, through the adjustments. I think he's an awesome source for me, and that obviously even better, he's playing at a really high level right now.
Did you ever have a play that you thought was a free play that wasn't as a quarterback?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So do you see a flag fly? Is that?
Yeah, I think you usually kind of out of your corner of your eye, you usually kind of sense those flags coming, and I think that kind of sense. Didn't really see a yellow over there, but he handled it really well.
But there's never one where you see a guy jump and you don't see a flag and you're like, this is going to be a free play. I guess that's risky to do.
Yeah, it's risky. It's risky, and it's part of the process. And I think it's happened a couple times now over the course of the last few years for whatever reason. And felt like the guy jumped off sides. Felt like it's kind of obvious, and I think Dak handled it really, really well.
How about when you think you have a free play and they blow the whistle?
Yeah, we have both ends. So we really had both of them in the game. And so, we're going to try and get those free plays. Because when we get free plays, free opportunities, everyone knows, in Green Bay they've been doing it for years and done it at a really high level. When you get free plays, get opportunity to throw it downfield, give yourself an opportunity to make a big play. And if not, you're still getting 5 yards out of it. And I think we've been able to fortunately make some plays out of that.
Of course, there are things you want to clean up, but does it surprise you that 8 games or halfway through the season, y'all are leading the league in offense? Do you expect that in your first year?
I think just when we execute at a high level, I feel like we got the guys to play at a really high level, and there's plenty of things to clean up, plenty of things to get better at, but I feel like we're trending in the right direction.
That means you're calling plays again.
What's that?
That means you're calling plays.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that theory. Yeah. I only get the good ones, huh?
So when we think of offensive scheme and whatnot, you think of passing game, but did you guys change up a little bit in your run blocking, especially early on, in terms of how you attack them?
This game in particular, this past one. I think certainly we felt like we were having a lot of success with certain runs and kind of stuck with them, and you kind of saw probably some trends. There's a lot of things that we're kind of coming back to, presenting it in different ways, kind of flavoring it up a little bit, but when something's working pretty well, let's not be afraid to stick with it.
But was there a little change in what you called in the blocking schemes early on, the way you?
There's a few. We threw a few misdirection things in there. Obviously playing an opponent for the second time, they obviously have a really good feel for you, certainly in the division. And so we can mix in a few things that maybe have a little misdirection. We'll get them going one way and go the other way. I think it gives you an opportunity.
Have you ever been part of a game where an animal got on the field?
No, that was it's a good one.
I mean, you were probably sitting down. You probably weren't watching. You probably didn't get to see it. But did
We were
you
watching
go?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
we were
okay.
watching it, yeah.
I figured that because you were probably by Dak or whatever.
Yeah. No, we watched the whole thing. It was pretty incredible. No one wanted to go out there and be the guy that got juked out. So.
Is there much difference to X and Z in the scheme of how the movement that you guys do if Kamara doesn't play and Gallup has to play a different role or anything like that?
Yeah, I think we've prepared for it just because a couple times this year we've kind of been in this situation where you kind of got to play out the whole week, as far as injuries, and so I feel like we're prepared for it. Obviously, you kind of got to flip some personnel and do those different things, but I feel like we can handle it pretty well.
How's Michael played? Obviously, got the fast start, had the surgery, kind of working back in. How's he done?
Yeah, doing great. Yeah, obviously fortunate to have him, and I feel like he's in a great position. And I think he's kind of at that point, second year in, he feels really good about that stuff, and I think that's the value of him. You can move him around, and when something happens like that, let him go play the other side. He's fine, and he'll play really good.
I mean, you plan to handle it better now than you did against the Jets.
Yeah, obviously it'll certainly. We lost 2 that game. That was kind of a unique circumstance with Randall as well. But I think certainly going through that process, you feel like hopefully we're more comfortable with that, more ready to adjust and handle it better.
You mentioned before the season with Randall's background as quarterback, you want to use him in different ways. Is that still something you want to do, and how do you go about balancing that?
Yeah. There's a lot of things we like to do. A lot of players we like to get involved in. It's just a matter of probably finding the right situations for those different things. Guys like Tony Pollard and Blake Jarwin who are backup roles, but you want them on the field as much as you can. We love Tony. We'd love to have Tony out there a ton, but you also don't want to take Ezekiel Elliott off the field. So you kind of got to find that balance between those two things.
That's the thing, like you finding that balance with the 3 guys you just mentioned, and Tavon Austin, I guess you can put in there too.
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you go each week? Do you say, well, I've got to find some role for him this week we haven't used in the last 2 or 3, or just in general? How do you approach
I think
that?
every week has some form of a package that emphasizes those guys, and it's probably a matter of falling into the right circumstances and situations to be able to call those things. And obviously there's a balancing act, right? You just got to balance out how many times you're going to be able to do that in the game, and what situations present themselves.
Is it more what they can do for you guys, or what they can do against that defense that week?
I think both. Yeah, you recognize each week's probably a little bit different, but certainly, certain guys have really impressive strengths that you want to emphasize, and I think it's sometimes there's things in there that you want to get to, and you just gotta have some patience. Hopefully, that you gotta make sure it's in the right situation.
Was that the case with Blake last week, or was it just you want to get him more snaps because
he's playing well, and obviously I think it helps. Probably he took a few more last week than the previous weeks. Gives Witt a little bit of a blow, which probably helps, long-term purposes. And Blake's obviously been doing a really good job, so we feel good about when he goes in there.